International Workers' Day, also known as Labor Day in most countries and often referred as May Day, is a celebration of laborers and the working classes that is promoted by the International Labour Movement and occurs every year on 1st May. Before a formal Labor Day came into place, deaths, injuries, and dangerous working conditions were very common among the working class globally. Let me introduce myself to you. I am Ash Pillai of Standard 9H from Siddhartha Central School, Palliman. During the rise of industrialization, the US exploited the working class during the 19th century and made them work up to 15 hours a day under rigorous conditions. The rising death of the workforce in industry forced the working class to raise their voice for their safety. After efforts made by the workers and socialists, 8 hours was declared as a legal time for workers in the National Convention at Chicago in the late 19th century by the American Federation of Labor. The origin of Labor Day goes back to an incident in Chicago on May 4, 1886, known as the Haymarket Affair. On this day, workers assembled as a part of a peaceful rally in a strike demanding an 8-hour work a day. An unknown person threw a dynamite bomb at the police as they acted to disperse the meeting. And the bomb blast and the ensuing gunfire resulted in the death of 7 police officers and at least 4 civilians, and dozens of others were wounded. The Chicago protests are now celebrated as Labor Day on 1st May. These protests led to many countries, including India, following an 8-hour work a day. The first Labor Day in India was celebrated on 1st May 1923. In Chennai, it was organized by the Labour Kisan Party of Hindustan. International Labour Organizations, or the ILO, is a part of the United Nations organization which is working towards improving the working conditions and living standards of workers all around the world. The Sustainable Development Goal 8, or the Global Goal 8, aims at ensuring economic sector of every country provides the necessary need for its citizens to have a good life irrespective of their background, race or culture. Over the past 25 years, the number of workers living in extreme poverty has declined dramatically. Despite the lasting impact of the 2008 economic crisis and the global recession, in developing countries, the middle class now makes up more than 34% of total employment, a number that has almost tripled between 1991 and 2015. However, as the global economy continues to recover, we are seeing slower growth, widening inequalities, and not enough jobs to keep up with a growing labor force. According to the International Labour Organization, more than 204 million people were unemployed in 2015. On 1st May every year, the International Labour Organization conducts rallies and marches across the world to create awareness about the issues like forced labour, minimum wage law, and rights of migrant workers. On International Workers' Day, remembering the man who had the greatest contribution towards creating a better life for Indian workers is very necessary. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He is the person who introduced the 8-hour work a day in the 7th Indian Labour Conference in 1942, when it was actually 14 hours. Let me conclude by saying the famous quote from Martin Luther King Jr. All labor that uplifts humanity has dignity and importance and should be undertaken with painstaking excellence. Thank you.